Like, we can start this process of moving on now.
Yeah.
It's a simple fact
I
that
definitely believe that has
you
something
feel
to
what I'm
do
saying?
with it. Definitely, I normally would say men need to feel safe in a relationship to open up, but women have to feel safe too. Because if you're dealing with a man,
That's the
whenever
main
you say
priority.
something, he gonna hold on to it for 5 years, 10
Yeah.
years. It will be. I still need to,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel. This relationship doesn't feel safe. But I think if both parties. Good morning, good morning. What's up? We back in the building doing this thing.
We here.
You ready?
Ready.
All right. So,
what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Couples Lounge. This is your boy, Kappa Man, Remon Tuck. I got my sexy chocolate chip. But today, we got two special guests in the building. We got two incredible brothers with us. We got my man Kelton, and we got the cute dog himself. I ain't gonna hold that against him. Lloyd in the building.
what's up?
Hey, happy to be here.
Yes.
We are excited. They
Hold on.
are the first guest for 2024.
Oh, but before you do anything, hit the subscribe button if you have not. Hit the subscribe button if you have not shared it with a friend. Tell them to get on YouTube, look up the Couples Lounge, and hit the subscribe button.
And let me introduce myself. I'm Candace. I'm the other half of the Couples Lounge, and I'm excited. I am super excited about this show because we are elevating the black man on today. But this is just like a conversation. We're having a conversation with our homeboys.
You know.
We sitting up in the living room. We finna go for what we know. And I had two outfits. I said, let me put on the dress to bring the feminine energy.
Okay.
I ain't gonna put on no pants. I'm gonna bring the feminine vibe to the platform.
I
So
like it.
Okay.
Good stuff.
I got some questions.
I know you do. I know
I
you
want to
do.
get an understanding.
You ready to
Come on
answer?
with it.
But even this year, like y'all, our whole goal, I know definitely mine, is to elevate the men.
I like that.
Because y'all are our leaders. Y'all are, if you put it in the earth realm, y'all are the sun, we are the moon. Y'all are the ones that everybody see. Y'all are the ones that are on the front. Women are the moon, we in the back. We doing what we do. We keep things flowing in ways that don't nobody know, but we doing our thing. And so I just think a lot of men need this type of conversation because it's not had a lot of times. Y'all don't have a safe place to be vulnerable, to be open, to be real, except for maybe barbershops or if you got a crew of dudes that you can really be that and they allow you to be there without judgment.
Right.
And so that's why I wanted to do this show.
Already.
So what I do know
What do you know?
is that there's a difference
Okay.
She starting to go
in a
the early?
man
Okay.
and a male.
Okay.
A male can be a boy,
Okay.
Maybe think that.
Right.
but a grown man is a different type of thing.
True.
And I think a lot of men think, oh, I'm a man. You're not a man just because you got some kahunas, because you got some balls. That doesn't make you a man. That makes you a male.
Right.
You right.
And so there's a lot of men operating from their teenager. They teenager running their life. They 40, they 50.
Okay.
But they teenager, they little boys running their life. And so how would y'all define a grown man?
First off, I would say a grown man has to be able to take care of himself.
Facts.
First off.
First and foremost.
I mean, I know you, Remon, also have a teenage boy. I have a teenage boy, 18, just went off to college, went to U of H. And, of course, he think he's grown. You know, they get to the point where they smelling themselves and that kind of thing, want to make some of their own decisions, give them a little freedom. But when you first think about being a man and not just a male, if you can't take care of yourself, you can X that out. To me, that's the first thing. So you got to be able to take care of yourself like a man. If you can't pay your own bills, if you don't have your own place, you can't make the decisions in your house, or you're not taking care of anybody else, then you're first off not a man there. So I'll start there.
Absolutely. And I will agree. What separates and what makes us men is our mindset. It's our actions, as our demeanor will determine not only if you're a man, what type of man you are.
Okay.
As you said, a male is an adjective. A man, I would say, is a noun. It describes who we are. But you can be a male and not be a man.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why I agree, because a lot of men sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes we're not self-aware.
Go on and speak the truth.
I'm
It's okay. Because I probably got it on my note card.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's like sometimes we not, sometimes we lack self-awareness, and that was kind of us, in those childish ways as kids.
Yes.
And because a lot of us really don't know, like we have to separate ourselves, but a lot of us, like she said, are still stuck in that phase of not being able to manage what we should, as far as just like spazzing out, or just like emotion. Like, it's self-awareness of, how you are carrying yourself in all aspects, you feel, of being a leader. So that makes complete sense.
And I think it's a maturity. Maturing is a process.
Yes.
Because we don't all, you just don't come with it all in your head. You learn through experiences, what you see, what you don't. You learn from daddy, uncles, big brothers, that kind of thing. And then at some point it begins to turn, you gain all that information, and then you formulate it and say, well, this is what I want to be.
Yes.
And through these experiences, I saw that. I didn't like how that went. I'm going to go this way.
Yeah.
And so that maturity allows us, in essence, to gain that self-awareness and then to grow and say, okay, well, I'm going to be better the next time that happens, or I'm going to react different that time. Next time. It's maturity also.
It's funny that you mention your sons. Like, our son is 20. And so I tell him, when you grow, man, he don't even let me put grown on him. He be like, no, I ain't grown. I ain't grown. He talk about, mama, grown people take care, they got bills. They take care of their house. I ain't grown. I'm an adult. I said, you gonna run from that as long as you can. He talking about, now I am an adult, but I ain't grown. I say, well, I can feel you.
Right.
I feel you on that.
And see, me and him just had a conversation. He called asking me for some money. And I'm like, son, what you need some money for? Because he cuts hair in school. Okay. So I'm following him on Instagram, and I'm seeing the pictures of he cutting hair and this and that. And I'm like, you asking me for $20, and I just seen 4 heads.
He always going out to eat.
That you cut. And he said, well, I'm trying to save to do this and that.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, son, that's part of being a man. And I literally said this. I said, son, it's part of being a man. You got to sacrifice what you need to sacrifice and put up what you need to put up. You can't do everything you want to do. Sometimes, don't go eat out.
Sound like my pops. Hey,
that's why you got groceries. Eat your food. You might not want to eat the ham sandwich because I got a bigger picture. That's part of being a man. I'm trying to teach it, and I told him, like, you call me when you need me. This little wants and stuff. Don't call me for every little want. And truth be told, I'm not gonna lie, I gave it to him.
All the time.
Yeah. And I had to be because I was trying to teach him a lesson, but here's why I gave it though. Because I'm proud of my boy. My son got like a 3.4 GPA. He's playing basketball. He's in school. Like, I'm proud of him. So I don't mind giving you this little $20, but I wanted him to know I'm not here for every little want. Because you're getting older.
Don't get comfortable.
Don't get comfortable. Now, baby girl, she can do that right now because she's young. And two, she's baby girl.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Man, to that point, my dad had a statement that he always told me: don't pay for your wants and then beg for your needs.
Oh,
I like that. I'm gonna have to use that.
Because that was me. I go get everything I want, these shoes, this stuff, and then be like, Daddy, I need some help pay my rent. He was like, well, you spending all your money on this, but you begging me for your needs.
Yes.
And then that's part of man.
That's a tweet. tweet it and
that's
put
a bar. I'm
Lord.
using that. I
Put
gotta
Lord.
use that.
Oh my God, that's a whole.
See, I always trying to put stuff on the internet. I'm not tweeting.
Then don't go there.
Put that on there.
Yes,
Put that on there. I'm telling y'all, we elevating the men
Yeah,
on
you
today.
gotta-
Though we are elevating the black men and also the women that love them. And I
appreciate
wanted
it.
that conversation to be put out there because from a woman's perspective, if you hollering about you the man, but you're not acting like the man. You're not being a man. And a woman sees it and she with you, but in her mind, I can't even depend on you. You can't even provide for me. You can't do this, but you want to holler the man and then you only the man when I'm trying to make this move or I'm trying to make that move.
I got a question.
Okay.
I was going to ask something.
I got a question. What percentage of women do you feel often like have that mindset? Because I'm trying to tell you, my generation is a little bit different.
The mindset.
Man, they're after the wrong things.
That too, I believe.
Like I mean, it's like I saw a post not too long ago, and they said like the problem with this generation is that we're looking for like a 90s love and a toxic 2000 something generation, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of crazy because it's like we want our mama's love, we want that old school that we used to listen to music. So, but it's like people can't maintain that. That's what I'm saying. It's really all a part of how you grew up and what you were actually able to acknowledge and like things that you actually lack. So it's like you're asking for these like Prince Charming type of men that want to cater to you, have 6-figure but it's like you can't even support that. Like you can't even like maintain that. Like even if that was offered. So it's like.
Yeah, I agree. To me nowadays, and I saw this on a podcast where women are wanting traditional men, but they're not traditional women, and it's. And we're bumping heads. Like you want this man that provides and do all these things that we saw Grandpa do, but you ain't doing half the things Big Mama used to do.
Yeah.
You
say what?
It's
I
traditional
agree.
versus modern.
Yes.
Traditional versus
Yes.
modern.
Yes.
But then I think too that adds to the dynamics. Definitely, if you get married,
True.
You got a traditional mindset. You want a traditional way of being, but you modern. So now y'all got a whole different dynamic that y'all got to work with.
Right.
And I definitely believe it is women out there. I always say like this: if you expecting that from him, you gotta have it. If you saying I want a man who has his own crib, do you got your own crib? You want this, but you live with your mama.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have a car, but he gotta have a car. You got
Right.
the standards for him that you don't even have for yourself.
Right.
But Mrs. Tuck, man, I want to ask because you were talking about and how men should be, and you say men should be like this, but you're not the guy that you should be. And as a woman, you've been married 20 years to Mr. Tuck, and y'all have been growing and maturing together.
Yeah.
How have you, as a woman, kind of pushed Remon into those places that he needed to be as being a feminine woman, and not saying you got to do this, because men most of the time, if you push us aggressively, then we're gonna fight back. We're gonna stand our ground.
Absolutely.
But women have this keen ability to push those buttons and kind of direct us and guide us in the way that they want us to go. So can you tell us about how you did that? Because Remon is polished, now, and I've been knowing him all of these years too.
Right.
And so now that I see him as this more refined man, the couples lounge, that kind of thing, how did you help in navigating some of that?
We actually spoke about this on the last show when we talked about destructive wives.
Okay.
And well, it's gonna be about 2 shows back. And I said I felt like I was the enabler. And as an enabler, allowing him to self-destruct sometimes and not speaking on it.
Yeah.
And so I would say it has been phases.
Yeah.
If I be honest, like starting out when we first got married, you see this, you see that, and you speak to it, babe. You need to do this. Or what about this? And I don't think I was so couples driven at first. I've always been a gold digger. I said playing, and I'm gonna go after it.
Right.
But just helping him.
Gold getter, not gold digger. You said gold digger.
Gold, Goal.
G-O-A-L.
Oh, okay,
I called
okay.
it gold getter. Gold
Okay, my
getter.
bad.
And so it is.
I thought she's.
I did.
I called it.
too.
I
That's
called
like,
it
wait,
gold
what?
getter. I called
Gold
it.
digger.
Correct my
I was
bad.
trying to. I said, it
Dig
might be
before
new
you go.
technology. I don't know about it. I was just.
Goal.
hoping.
And so it definitely has been levels to it. It has started out with the softness. Babe, do this, do that. But I would tell you, it got to a point in our marriage. And even with doing the couples lounge, that frustration set in because what I saw, what I spoke, what I tried to show him what I seen in him, it was pushback.
Mm-hmm.
Or I ain't doing it. Or I call it his rah-rah energy, his big energy. And this, if you know Mon, you know the energy he come with. And I'm his wife, so I get to see a totally different version
the good,
of
the
it.
bad, and
Why she say rah, rah?
So it is like, it was times where I was like, I don't even want to deal with it.
Mm.
So I enabled him to play small.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to push, or I tried to push and he rejected it over and over again. So I became, But now I have been intentional about figuring it out.
Okay.
Like, I know him now.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, I know me.
Right.
Some
Okay.
self-awareness
I like
for me,
that.
some healing for me. The things that used to trigger me don't trigger me no more. And so now I know with him, just drop the seed. Don't push it right now. Let me drop it. I'll come back and water it later.
Yeah.
I'll come back and put some sun on it again later.
Yeah.
I keep telling him. I tell him, but then I'm like, if you want my support, let me know.
Yeah.
I stay ready.
That-
You want me to do
wow.
what? Okay, bet.
Yeah.
You thinking about this? Bet.
Okay, so it's like
That's what I love so much.
so do you kind of agree with the term of like men to recharge? We kind of need like a little separation, like.
Oh yeah, I'm very clear
like,
about that too. That's one thing.
Was that something that was kind of hard for you to understand? Because they said like and correct me if I'm wrong, but they said sometimes women navigate with wanting to still be catered to and close and like hugged and it's like, is that how y'all often recharge too?
I give him that space because I know that he does need that space of where he in his man cave, or he in the garage, or he on the patio, or he done went to the cigar lounge. So yeah, I understand that space. I don't think I've ever had an issue with your recharge. The length of his recharge can be ridiculous.
Yeah. No, for the most part, no. If you've had an issue, if I'm doing it a little too much, like I think there's a balance. Like you gotta have the recharge. Let me sit in my patio, smoke my little cigar, chill for a minute. Yeah. But if you out there 4-5 hours every single day, 7 days a week, like hold on. Like, what are you doing? That was my pushback. But just giving me my space and allowing me to have that, you was good. You've always been good on that.
And I would say to the men, be mindful of that recharge, that it is not being used as a distraction for your emotions,
like
what you're going
out.
through.
Yeah. Talk. Come on now.
I feel you on that.
Because it could be also used just like people use other things to self-medicate. That a recharge and extended an over usage of it. You outside, or you scrolling the internet, or you doing that and you doing it for 3, 4, 5 hours, like he said. It is a coping mechanism.
Yeah, recharge don't get settled.
Yeah,
recharge. Man,
absolutely.
And I appreciate that in women like you so much. My wife is the same kind of way because I mean it's ebbs and flows to marriages. I'm on my second marriage, so I got that starter marriage out the way. And
starter marriage.
I call it a starter marriage because it's like your first house. You don't know what you want. You just get it. You like, I like it. I think I like all of that. You get it, and then you get in. It was like, man, I don't have a fireplace. I should have had one. Or this area in front of the going out should have been bigger. And so that second house, you like, I know what I want that time.
Yeah,
and so I messed that first one up. I mean, nothing crazy. Didn't call out a name, no abuse or nothing like that. We just both weren't ready.
Yeah.
In that kind of situation. But learning through that, I took some self introspection and looked and said, hey man, some stuff you're not doing right too. Right. And then so the second time when I have my wife now that comes along and she's doing the things that you said that you're doing, I can receive it a different way. Yeah. And I can see, oh, okay.
That's growth.
I see what you're doing.
Grown man.
I see what you're doing. And my wife does the same thing. She just plant that seed. Yeah. And then I'm gonna leave you alone because I know if I keep going, you're gonna blow up, or you're gonna have that big man energy, or you're gonna reject it. But she plant that seed and then just sit back, and then it come back, and it was like I came up with the idea. It was like I done did this. I done planted that road already.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I want to know this from you all. Why is it difficult for some men? I'm not saying y'all, to take advice from your wife or your woman? Why is it a pushback? Definitely if she's your wife, because now that's your wisdom. That's the person
when you
that
say
is
difficult. What do you?
Where y'all big energy. Big energy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm coming to you to say I see this or I see that. And it's difficult. Like, we've been in this situation before where I've been telling Buzz up for years. And then he came and said, you know what Max said to me today? I'm like, Negro, I've been saying, but in my growth, I have said, I don't care how he get the message at this point.
As long as you get it.
Because as long as he gets it. So why is it difficult to take your woman's wisdom, words of advice, her suggestions, etc.?
It may not be difficult, and it may. I think
or challenging, let's say.
I may not agree. You may be coming to me about X, Y, Z, but I totally disagree. I see ABC right now. I'm not seeing what you're seeing.
Right.
So you're taking it as pushback when I just simply disagree. I'm looking at it from a totally different perspective as a man. You may be looking at it from a woman's perspective, and we just don't agree on it. So if I don't see what you're seeing at this moment, don't take it as pushback. It's simply I'm just not agreeing with you.
Oh, and y'all hate it when you're not right. So
my goodness.
So it's like that. It's like, no, honestly, it's like that, and that's what causes it to amplify.
Yes.
And cause it and turn into something that's turns into like doing too much or like escalating the situation.
Yes.
Like that's what it ends up turning to.
Okay.
And that's where the clash ends up coming in.
By simply disagreeing.
By simply disagreeing, because that's all it is.
Yes.
We don't have to turn it. We don't have to turn it into nothing else. But because you are upset and because you are, not really rocking with the simple fact that I'm not agreeing with you right now and that you're not right and that you're not getting away, it explodes.
Well said.
Okay.
For me, I to my detriment, I have a slow processor at times. So it takes me time to process, to think about all these different options, and I'm going to go in my head 1,000 different times. Yes. So as Mom would say, if I have my mind set on these are the 1, 2, 3s, and then you bring in a totally different option, I wasn't thinking about that option at all. And so it's more of a curating period to where it's like, okay, you give me the information, let me sit on it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't have to make the decision right now or because you want it, I have to see your point right now.
Yes.
Just plant the seed and let me kind of think about it. And I'm going to at some point say, okay, let me see her option. And I'm gonna work through the options and I may not agree. Absolutely. And what I had to learn to be more intentional about is telling you I don't agree and maybe why I don't agree. Because what I don't do a lot of times, if I just don't take your suggestion and I just go a different way, that can cause dissension.
That's
also.
good right
Absolutely.
there.
Let me, and you kind of touched on it.
All of it was good. All three of y'all.
By not agreeing and you seeing it in a different way, have you had issues dealing with your woman or with a particular woman simply for disagreeing with her?
Now, this show ain't about to be about the woman. No, just play. I'm just playing.
We're not dogpiling women.
But seriously, though, can that be an issue? Have y'all had that as an issue?
Of course.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'll let Kay go with it.
No, you can go first. You can go first.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good question.
Anytime you're accountable to somebody else, and it's two of y'all, and one person has to make the decision, it's always going to be, in essence, an argument, a disagreement when you both don't aren't going in the same direction. And so some people handle it better than others.
Right.
As men, we have to give out that information a little better, and then as women, you have to be receptive of this is how men move.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of arguments back and forth, man. If I don't see your way, if I don't see your side, yeah, it can be a very big explosion.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's different for sure. Like when y'all's mindsets don't match, because when you said accountability, it's like over time I've honestly have learned to love it, and I would want anybody else that I'm dealing with to learn to love it too, because
To love
it's
what?
to love accountability.
Okay.
And reason being is because, once you have taken that time to, explore and express your own wrongdoings and, dissect what you need to do the next time, the next approach, and actually take into consideration these things, it really doesn't matter about the words of other people and about what they say, because, words can damage people. Other people's opinions can damage people. So that's kind of what causes the whole stress and anxiety and losing themselves, honestly. So, just like take accountability. So the simple fact that like none of this stuff has to, really escalate, because there will be another day. Like we will live to see another day to work this out.
Yeah.
Like, so just relax. Let's not turn this into something that's, too big. But
And I think that's grown on both people's part.
Yeah,
That
that
mindset
is.
right there is
Yeah.
grown when we can have a conversation.
Like,
This does
we
not
can do
have
that.
to blow
Yeah.
up.
Right.
If we both are emotionally intelligent, we can calm ourselves down and let's just have a conversation. I think if more couples make that agreement with each other,
Right.
we're going to have conversations, and we don't have to get to the point of we're in a knockout, drag out argument because we don't agree.
How much, or can you put a percentage on how many arguments start because you just aren't equally yoked?
Unequally yoked?
Because you're unequally yoked. How many of those things are knock down, drag out arguments because you just aren't equally yoked?
I would say a lot. If we unequally yoked, we're going to bump heads a lot.
Right.
If we're not equally yoked, you will bump heads a lot, and you're going to bump heads regardless.
Right.
But if we're not, I think it adds more fuel to that fire, and the arguments are more.
Yes.
But see, this is my thing. How was we good when we was dating and we was engaged, but now we can't have conversation because we done got married? Because if it was humongous, but there is some people that still go through a marriage when they know this person is not my person. But what I would say is what we have found, even with our own self and with other people, is a lot of arguments happen because we refuse to see your way. Because two things can be right.
Right.
We
That's
both
true.
can be looking at, we use it when we work with couples, we use this illusion of a bird and a duck. And it depends on how you can see it.
Yeah.
But both of y'all are right.
Right.
But what we have found is in courageous conversations, I don't want to say hard.
I like it.
Courageous
Correct.
conversations, I'm trying to get you to see my duck.
Mm-hmm.
Although you see this, and I ain't budging. See this, come over here, and we arguing.
But your duck is ugly.
Whatever. I need you to see it. And a lot of times, if we would just truly acknowledge it, but not from acknowledging it from a place of I'm trying to shut you up, acknowledging it, but I do see it like that. But I still see it like this too. I see your way. But I think a lot of arguments happen because of that.
Yeah.
Definitely. I definitely.
And that's why I say, like, the reason I want to emphasize love accountability is because I think that's the main things that cause relationships to separate. It's just arguing when you don't even really know what you arguing about. And it's like, it's okay. Like, I'm not going to always be right. She's not always going to be right. But it's like it literally eats people alive when they know that they're wrong. Like, when it's actually coming out of their mouth, like, you don't hear too many people just say, I was wrong. Like, you don't hear you hear excuses of why they did what they did, and
Okay, let me push back. I honestly think. I'm gonna say it anyway, baby. I honestly think men, we do that.
No.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I'm not making this about that, but we're talking about men. I think it's easier for us to actually. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong. My bad. I was wrong. I honestly believe it's easier for us to do it. Not to say we're perfect at it.
Yeah.
That for men, I think for a man, it's easier. Yeah, I was wrong on that. I think it's difficult for women at times. And when you're dealing in a relationship, if you find a person who's not wrong, that's a difficult situation to be in. When I'm dealing with you and you ain't never wrong.
Yeah.
You may not view it that way, but you are never wrong.
Yeah.
Man, I can't say that. My wife beat me up by saying I'm never wrong. So I gotta be quiet.
I don't.
Now, you gotta keep it 100 at the line, baby.
I don't think.
Come on,
but that's.
I do believe
That's real.
it is difficult for women. They might know it, but I think it's difficult for us to say it. And
Nah, I don't think some of y'all don't want to. I honestly feel like some, I feel like they don't want to say it because they're so afraid of our reaction. But they really don't know. If you just say it, like, we can start this process of moving on now. Yeah. It's a simple fact.
I definitely believe that has something to do with it. Definitely. I normally would say men need to feel safe in a relationship to open up, but women have to feel safe too, because if you're dealing with a man, whenever you say something, he gonna hold on to it for 5 years, 10 years. It will be I still need to, but this relationship doesn't feel safe. But I think if both parties make the relationship safe, like we can talk about whatever, and I know I ain't gonna be attacked, or it's not gonna be.
It's power in y'all's words. I don't think y'all really understand.
Oh no,
like it's really power in a woman's words, because it's like, honestly, like if you just said, like, if you were able to say something to your man, like that can get him motivated. Like your words are able to, like, change a man's mindset. So like what you say matters. So like when you are dishonest and like how things are moving, and you're not taking account, if it is what it is, it's like that's when we start losing trust and we start acting funny, and like we get so silent and distant, and you had those questions. So it's like y'all's words are powerful. Like,
and I heard a woman say this, which was an aha to me on a podcast, that it's hard for women to admit they're wrong because we carry shame and guilt. Not from y'all. And as I sat and started reflecting, absolutely. It was things from my teenage years that I didn't even realize I was still carrying 20 years later. That was shame and guilt, unaware how it's showing up in my relationship, unaware of how it's showing up in my life. The shame and guilt had me unconsciously fighting for my character.
Wow.
And so it made sense that when I was wrong, I'm still carrying the shame and guilt from when I was wrong in the action that I did as a teenager. So it's hard for me to admit it now because it's still tied to that stuff. Right. So a lot of women carry shame and guilt that they don't realize they're carrying. And so I want to be right. I'm trying to make that situation right by fighting for my character.
You gonna miss your bus. Got them bags. You carrying them bags.
Carrying bags and we don't know it.
Right.
So,
Wow.
Yeah. So I have this question.
Okay.
We need to, first, before I ask the question, no, this is the question so I can make sure y'all come back. Men are fixers, right? Y'all say y'all fixers, right?
We are.
Look, Kelsey, like, I don't know if I want to agree. What's your question? Y'all are the logical ones, right?
Looking to that bag before I jump in there.
So, If y'all are the fixers, we can bring things to y'all to fix.
Okay.
Why, when it comes to the relationship, and we are saying we see this, our relationship or our marriage is this, and this is the thing we want y'all to fix, but you don't see it, but you ain't trying to change. Why is it that we not fixers? Y'all not fixers when it comes to our relationships and our marriage. We'll be right back.
Have you considered purchasing a home, but something has stopped you? Maybe you don't think you'll qualify due to credit, or you don't think you've saved enough, or maybe someone you trust said you should wait because the market is about to shift. The truth is, none of us know for sure what is going to happen in the real estate market at any given time. Interest rates have continued to decline and inventory is still limited. There are down payment assistance programs to help you qualify, and the value of houses continues to appreciate. Best time to purchase is when you qualify. Call me today to find out how I can assist you achieve your real estate goals.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. If you ain't hit the subscribe button yet, slap your face.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now.
But welcome back, man. We got my man Q Dog in the building, Lord. And we got my man Kelton in the building, man. We keeping it live today. We're talking about men. We're trying to uplift men. We're just having a serious, deep conversation. Baby, you asked the question.
I asked it. I've been waiting on this.
Okay, but ask it one more time. We need to process it again. We had to think about it and process.
That's
so
still sitting
ask
on
it
my
one more
heart.
time without the ad-libs and just hit us between the eyes with the question.
The Adlivs is what hit my heart. That's what got me crazy over here. Like,
So if y'all are fixers,
Okay,
and y'all credit y'allself for that, bring it to me, and I'm gonna fix it.
okay.
We can't come. You said no ad libs, but I'm ad libbing. We got problems. We come to y'all a lot of times. We just want y'all to listen. But now y'all want to fix it. Let me fix it, baby. And we love that. But why, when it comes to the relationship, and we see the relationship deteriorating, or we see that this ain't working no more, and we coming to y'all, and she might be coming soft, she may be coming hard, she might be crying, she might be hollering. But men don't seem to want to fix the relationships when their women bring them their concerns that they are having, that they are seeing. Because I just believe women see it different. We see it, we sense it, we feel it when something is off in a relationship. Right. Because we are the heart. So we feel. Y'all think, we feel.
Okay.
And so why not fix? Why not be a fixer when it comes to us?
That's wow, man. Did you really just ask that? Okay.
With the haymaker question.
that's like
But here's the crazy part. Women are filing for divorce more than men. So if I look at it that way, I can push back with that.
Well, let me tell you this.
Okay, break it down.
Most women that I know.
No, we're speaking in general.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying in general.
Okay.
A woman doesn't say, boom, I'm headed for divorce. Okay. The woman that files for divorce, if you asked her.
You think she tried to fix it?
She has tried.
Okay,
she has
let me speak
talked.
on it. Let me speak on it.
I
don't know necessarily about that today.
No.
Today.
Women will stay with you. You done cheated on her.
Yes.
And she will still fight, forgive.
I ain't speaking in general terms, but okay, we'll go with that.
So answer the question.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with that. I think it depends on how she's coming to the man.
Y'all are fixers. Y'all the leaders. All that extra
Y'all don't even really want to.
I'm sorry. Are you going to let me answer the question?
Okay, come on.
Honestly, it depends on how she's coming, first and foremost. It really does. Because like you say, if you coming back, and now I'm not trying to fix nothing, because right now I'm more focused on how you came to me and then the issue.
I'm going to let y'all check each other on this question. This one
then the issue. Second, does the man see it as a problem? Does whatever you saying the problem is, do he agree and see it as a problem? The brother may not see it as like, man, I ain't seen nothing wrong with our relationship, man. Everything is fine. You want us to do this, man? Ain't nothing wrong with us.
I need a pen.
Ain't nothing
I need
wrong.
to be taking
So
some
therefore,
notes.
if I don't think it's a problem, I ain't trying to fix it.
Get a pen.
So he may not. That's one aspect. He may not really necessarily agree there's a problem. Two, is he at a place in his maturity that he can right now? Can I fix what you're saying? Fix?
Yeah.
Because right now, I'm still operating maybe as a boy, as you will, and my childhood is coming out, and I can't even deal with what you're talking about right now.
Do I even have the
I
tools?
need fixing, so I can't even fix this problem.
And I think it goes back to what Lloyd said earlier, communicating.
Right.
Communicating that truth.
God.
That I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. Versus I ain't gonna even address it. I hear you talking. I don't know how to do it though, but I'm cool.
Wow, that was a tough one. God, that's a tough question. Let me take this angle. I'll think about it like this. As men, because if you are the man and you're doing your thing and you're handling the whole thing, I think the priority of that slides down. Not that it should,
Right.
but I think men have so many things on their shoulders. I'm thinking about the entirety of our life, how we live, me going to work, me making sure all of this is worked out, da, 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 da. And then that as a priority slides down because we generally hand that part over as something that the women do.
Fix the relationship?
Well, not fix. I would say as in it's the maintain. That's one of the things we may give off. How we sometimes give off rearing the kids to you, or we may give off some of those things. We just like, okay, well, that's something I kind of delegate. And we don't prioritize that, so it makes it harder. Well, I'm thinking about doing all of this stuff, and you trying to fix us when I'm trying to keep these lights on. You coming to me about I ain't nice enough all the time, but should I be nice or should I go get this money? And so we do that, and I'll say it like that to kind of to help because we are fixers, and because a lot of times we don't know what y'all want, and I would say me personally, I just try to stay out the way. Whatever you mad at, whatever I did, I'm gonna try not to do that again. And that's how I try to fix it. I don't necessarily come at you and be like, so hey babe, how should I be? What should I say differently? I don't do that. It's more of you don't like I stayed out a little too late. Gotcha. I'll be in 30 minutes early this time, or I try to fix it like that instead of saying what do you need from me?
Right.
So that's fixed.
Right.
But
So I'll take
fixing
that.
it like that, that's a fix.
That ain't a fix because she be like, you just can't. You ain't really fixed it. You just tried to avoid it. You tried to do something so you didn't hear my mouth no more. That's how she was saying. You just tried not to hear my mouth.
You put
So
a Band-Aid on.
Yeah, you put a Band-Aid on. So good, yeah.
But I know what Lord just said needs to be one of the promo videos because that's gonna get the women all worked up. That what you was. Yeah, the answer to this needs to be one of them promos. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Come on, Kelton.
Ooh, snap.
Tough.
It's I don't know. It's different. It's different angles. But can you give me that last part of the question? The primary question that
The
you
primary question is, why are y'all not
Trying to fix
willing
the fix. Yeah.
to fix the
me some
relationship
bow ties.
when y'all are the fixers? Y'all are the fixers.
Damn, that's a good question. God, she got me.
And I don't know. I guess it goes back to like what I said earlier. Like, how many women do you feel like think that way? Because it's like a lot of times I was often told like we don't always need fixing. Like we just need y'all to listen. So it's like when I listen, you want me to speak. When it's like when it's time for me to speak, I listen. So it's like everything.
I think when it comes to us, when we just want to vent about our day or we got this going on, I just want you to. Some of them want you to just
Then
listen.
I just want
Yeah.
But I trust and believe when it comes to y'all relationship and things are not going as lovely as she would like or that she sees, she definitely wants. She don't want to be the only one trying to fix it because it's heavy.
Yeah. I can see that.
I'll give you that.
I can see that.
I'll give you that.
And again, for me, it is the main thing. Do the man see the relationship as a problem?
But if it and he may not.
And
but
I
this
think
is
a lot of the times in those situations, especially when we've dealt with some people, the guy don't really see we have a problem. Like, man, ain't nothing wrong with all those ladies. You just complaining. You got the problem. You tripping.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong.
But
And I think that is the main issue, is to get the man to see the relationship through your eyes. Put himself in like, damn, do we really have a problem?
And we can't do that. Like we
you can't do what?
We can't always see it from y'all's eyes.
And vice versa.
We're
That'll be the
men.
promo.
And vice versa.
Like,
That's true.
we really
that's
like
very
sometimes
true.
like
That's very
help
true.
the people,
That's
help the
very
women
true.
that love y'all.
That's very
How
true.
do we get y'all to see it from our perspective? What do we need to say? What do we need to do?
we can't get
Talk
it.
to y'all while we
can't,
having sex?
No,
Yeah,
I mean
Right
that
out.
works. I mean that'll make us do a little bit more around the house. But I'm just saying. But I'm saying we can't always just see it from, because seeing it from your perspective can almost seem like, okay, she's right, but I may not feel like that. So I cannot see it from your perspective.
Yeah.
We need to get an understanding.
Right.
What I would say too, can you articulate what actually is wrong instead of just saying something is wrong?
Yeah.
That's good too.
You have
Because and Remon said it, and I was like, man, I say the same thing about my wife. I don't want the fillers. Shoot it straight to me.
Yeah.
Because my wife will be trying to say something, and then she give me the story. And I'm like, babe, I've listened for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you still haven't told me nothing.
I say all
and
the
I've been
time,
sitting
don't
there
give me the
quiet.
preamble.
Yeah.
I don't want the preamble.
Just
I
like
kid
the
you
women
not.
that y'all
I
talk.
tell-
Y'all
I
talking
build
to.
up.
That's
Am I
true.
lying?
That is true.
Man,
I don't
want
need to
the
We
build
have
up.
a lot more words than them.
So you
ladies,
don't. I'm 10 minutes in. I'm like,
You said all that to say we
You
finna
said all
order
that to
pizza.
say-
Right. Just tell
Yeah.
me.
Like,
Please,
you could've
just
so
tell
told
me.
me.
articulate. If you just
That's
come at
good.
me straight, like you said, plant the seed. Like, babe, I don't
Right.
think we have enough dates.
Right.
I don't think we date often enough. That gives me something to then actually fix.
Right.
Instead of saying, why you don't take me out?
Right. Right.
Or, man, I was thinking that my girlfriend, her and her man, they just go all this and they be doing this. I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? Because I
Yeah.
don't care about what they doing.
talking in
You talking in
Cold,
code
yeah.
or
Yeah.
trying to lead me to the water.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is just like, hey, babe, I just think we should go out a little bit more.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I would say this: if the ass or the thing that she keeps bringing, even if y'all don't see what she is saying, I think too that's where kind of wise counsel come in, where you have
I was finna say-
dudes that you can go like my wife.
No,
keeps
not a dude. Hear me on this. I truly believe sometimes you need another woman, and here's what I mean by that. No. Let me
the
finish.
man
Let
have
me
a
fin-
woman or the
Yeah,
woman?
the
Okay.
man. Here, let me finish. I can go to my sister. Like, man, am I tripping? Yeah, you tripping. What's wrong with you? What woman wants? Oh, dang, for real?
Woman's perspective.
Yes,
Well,
just like if a woman, if you have a brother or uncle or someone that you can go to, and to me, it needs to be a family member. Don't go crying to a coworker or another woman that is not related to you, but one that's gonna keep it 100, that's not trying to take your side on everything. And thank Lord my little sister is way. I can come to her and think, man, am I tripping? And she will flat out tell me, you stupid. Man, you stupid. That was just dumb. Yeah, can't right. What? Like, oh, Lord. Now, I don't come to her often, but I know if it's something that, like, man, I think Candace, like, no, am I tripping or is she tripping? She'll keep it 100 with me.
I like that.
So I think you need another. Sometimes as a man, I need to hear it from another woman's perspective. Just like you might need to, if you can go to your brother on certain things. Am I tripping or was mom right? No, Candace. Mom was right on that. And it'll open like, oh, okay.
And I was gonna say, and that makes sense. And I was about to ask you, like, what is it that they say differently, or how do they say it to the point to where it makes you like rethink about like the whole situation? But then it's kind of like I realize that sometimes the person you ever wanted to get an understanding from somebody at that moment, but like it just straight class, like they could not understand. So it's like hit like, and you constantly been around this person, they've been saying the same things. How you said, well, I told him last and he came home and he said this, and I've been telling this guy that. It's like sometimes hearing it from a different voice, it really gets you to like operate in a different way.
You can tell your child something And daddy wrong, daddy tripping.
And your little dumb
Let
friend
his
told you the
cousin,
same
his
thing.
homeboy.
Yeah.
And he was like, I've been telling you this, boy.
But
Yeah.
it turns that emotional part off because a lot of times we get locked into the emotion of why we're arguing. It's not even what we're arguing about anymore. Not that you even brought it to me. You need somebody that you can just go to and there's no emotion attached to it.
Yeah.
And they're just unbiased.
Unbiased.
And you're good, wise counsel. They want to see you in a good relationship.
There you go.
That has to be.
There
That's
you
why
go.
when he
Yeah.
says that family factor,
Yes.
they have to
Yes.
want you to be in a
Absolutely.
good,
'Cause
healthy relationship.
Because
Yeah.
my
And they'll be
sister
like,
loves my wife, loves her, and she's not gonna just take my side,
Right. Yeah.
Because she is flat out. I mean, and I'm not joking. Has literally called me stupid
Yeah.
at times. And let me say this: women at times, I don't think y'all realize how much power you have over your man. And let me say, you gotta know how to communicate with your man. You gotta know when to turn that softness on, or when you might need to be a little bit more forceful with your words and your conversation in a respectful manner.
Let me say, I'm gonna add to you just real quick before you keep making your point. Not turn your softness on, because with your man, your softness needs to be on.
No,
cut
that's
your
why-
cut your masculinity off.
Yes.
Cut that off.
There you go.
You don't need
Well
that
said.
with your man.
Well said.
Cause you shouldn't. Cause that means she operating in her masculinity. If she gotta cut the feminine on.
Yes.
The feminine needs to be on.
Yes.
With your man. Let me dial back this masculine energy that
Absolutely.
I have with him, because he's not gonna hear me.
Yes.
If I'm coming to him.
Yes.
In my rah-rah.
Yes.
He ain't gonna hear it.
So know how to make your man move. Because you could say the right things with the right touch, the right words, the right kiss, and we will move
melt
a mountain.
Yes.
Or we'll kill everything in sight.
Everything.
Right. Yeah.
Everything in sight. Know how to do that. I've seen my mother do exactly that. My mama knows exactly how to make my father do almost anything. Literally, because she knows her man and knows when she, okay, baby, okay. No, Mitchell, you're wrong. And I'm like, wait, what? Sometimes too many women, y'all can get so caught up in that masculine energy, and we're going to fight back. Just knowing how to talk to us can get us to maybe hurt you.
Yeah, I believe that.
He's like, why are you yelling at me? He's like, we there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We at that.
Yeah.
We at the peak of the masculinity.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
Is that
lashing
is
out.
that
we there?
the submissive stuff that you wanted to go into? Because is that a part of submission?
I definitely believe that's a part of submission, because that's a part of, it's who we are. But I think so many women are so used to operating in the masculine. And definitely if you are a top female outside of the home,
Or
Right.
been
and you
single
don't
for
know
so
how,
long.
Or been
you
single for a long
so
time.
long.
Yeah,
Having
you
to do
had
it
to
on
do
your
that.
own.
Correct.
Yeah, and you don't know how to cut it off, or you maybe like me for a long time. When I got introduced to the word femininity, I thought weak, and I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about, feminine. What? But you look at childhood. I raised with 3 boys in the house.
Yeah.
I was outside in the
I'm
street.
with
climbing
y'all
the
too.
trees. Yeah,
Yeah,
I flipped backwards flips.
Climbing the
I ain't wear dresses and do all of that.
Tomboy.
I was,
Yeah.
I like to say I'm like now I have it balanced. I'm like the round-the-way chick. I can get classy with you, but you want to go shoot pool? What? Let's do that.
Bam.
So I think it took me understanding the power of my femininity, what femininity was from a spiritual perspective, how God made me from a spiritual perspective to be that softness, to be that nurturer, to be that love, and how it is truly powerful. I've used it with him now. That it works.
It's a drug.
Yeah, that I ain't gotta come like this. Come soft.
But we gotta know God.
It's the
though.
perfect
we gotta-
balance.
That part.
We have to know Him to know that.
To know us.
Equally yoked.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Because it does. It's not going to, and that's where a lot of the lash outs are, because like we've had those different perspectives on how things are going, and it's like we're not operating. How.
And I'm so glad you just brought that up, because I was even gonna say that when y'all were just answering the question, in that I may not know how to fix what she's saying. You got to take that stuff to God. You got to go in prayer. And I don't see it. She keeps coming to me, God,
What
show
is
me
it?
what is she talking about.
Yeah.
But you gotta want to understand her.
Absolutely.
You gotta
Yeah.
want to try to fix it. And maybe I don't know how to fix this, guys. So send me the information, send me the person, send me something. And it causes, and you also need to be in the word. Literally.
Yeah.
I would get on Google a scripture for funk.
Yeah.
And you gonna find the scripture for it.
Yeah, when the information age.
Yeah.
You're
Like
right.
You're
a
going to
healthy-
find
a
the
healthy source.
information if you want it.
Yeah.
And I think as men, it's important for us to have that healthy friend group that gives us that wise counsel also, that pushes us to other ideas, that makes us hold us accountable, makes us grow in a men way. So it's not, oh, well, because it's a woman, I can't hear it. Well, if my boy Remon is saying, like, God, Mon's saying it, so dang. You know, I think Mon is that guy. Mon is like, I got to listen to my wife. And so that makes me think, well, dang, Mon listens to his wife. I can't be, you know. And so it's important for us as men because iron does sharpen iron. And if we the same type of sword, then I can't use my wife to sharpen me, not in that way.
Absolutely.
If Mon is that sword or Kay is that sword, I can say, okay, well, I can sharpen myself because we should be about the same. So I can sharpen myself with his tool to sharpen me,
Like
instead of using my wife's tool.
Yeah.
Know who to call. Like, you know, and that goes literally back to what I said earlier, love and accountability, because you can't always call somebody that's going to want to always take your side and get you to make it seem like everything you did was correct. And then that person is going to lead you to a place to where you staying the same. Like, you know, I was always, you know, get around somebody who knows a little bit more than you, who's actually going to tell you about yourself, you know, like challenge your mind. But we love, and it was a viral video. I can't remember what the pastor's name was, but he said we like to hang around people who are fun and not challenging. And that's a lot of the reasons why we're still stuck in these places of just, you know, having fun and being in these cycles of getting into the same stuff over and over. Because we're not surrounding ourselves, we're not calling people who are actually holding us accountable and letting us know different perspective of, you know, even what they see, so we can try to get a full understanding.
And in all disclosure, I don't think I've ever told him this, so this probably be the first time you hear it. I see this power that's on this one right here.
Speak on them.
It is powerful, and so I wonder, and I ask myself this: do he have men that will challenge him and hold him accountable because his energy is powerful? And I don't think he has men that will be willing to challenge him because except in a way that will elevate you. I do know he has a cousin, but they kind of can think alike sometimes. So Mac will probably be the one that I think won't fold to Mon. Other men, I think a lot of men that are elevated in their thinking will fold if his rah-rah come out.
Rah-rah come out, yeah.
I don't know if he has a man that will stand toe-to-toe with him to call him higher.
I don't always think, yes, men need that, and you may not have it, but I don't think you necessarily have to have it to get that understanding. Because he can be, you can be the dog. So say if you think about Jordan or say LeBron, you could be the dog. But it could be a day you come to the ring and somebody else got it a little better than you got it. So you may not necessarily be that guy, but I think it goes back to maturity too. I may even still, you may can challenge me, you may have beat me, and I may not let you know, but if I go home when I'm licking my wounds, I may think about it. And I think that's what's more important. If you have the open mind to think about, okay, he said something, I ain't really like it, and I ain't let him think, or even my wife, I ain't let her think she won. But when you go home and you having that recharge, you like, man, she probably was right. Or what he said, man, that did kind of hit home. I ain't let him see it, but it kind of hit home.
All right, y'all. I know
this. I ain't even got to.
Ain't got to the question.
I asked one question, maybe two that was on this card. So this has got to be a part two. It has to be.
It is. But man, we appreciate you guys tuning in to the Couples Night. This is just part one.
Yeah.
We will come back next week to to air part two. But man, seriously, thank you for tuning in. Man, appreciate you guys coming in.
Appreciate you.
Hey,
We about to keep the conversation going.
if you have not hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. Share with a friend. Thank you again for tuning in to the Couples Lounge. This is your boy Remon.
And I'm your girl Candace. And this show, Elevating the Black Men, is for discussion. We always say we're going to give you something to talk about. And ain't nobody doing it like us.
Because they ain't us.
And so don't use this show as division. Use this show for understanding. Use this show to talk about the things that are being talked about, to try to understand your woman, to try to understand your man.
Yeah.
We'll be back.